Is Tom Izzo washed? A lot of college basketball fans are wondering that after Coach Izzo went on a epic tirade after Michigan State's loss to Northwestern over the weekend. We're going to go ahead and show you guys this article here, and don't worry, we will play the clip of Tom Izzo and his rant in this article here. So here's the article. Here's the name of it. College hoops fans ripped Michigan State's Tom Izzo over his bizarre rant after loss to Northwestern. Um, Legendary, let's go ahead and just start read the article and we'll kind of react to it as it goes. Legendary Michigan State Spartans head coach Tom Izzo unleashed a bizarre rant about analytics in the aftermath of an 88-74 loss to Northwestern on Sunday night. Izzo, 68, has been openly critical of many of modern elements of basketball in recent years, including several tirades about the failings of the transfer portal. Sunday, he took aim at advanced metrics in a seemingly unprompted press conference diatribe, which he referred to analytics as, quote, phony. There's a quote of basically what he said. We're just gonna play the whole clip of the press conference. It's about 2 minutes long here, and then I might stop it here or there to make a point, but we'll listen to the diatribe and they'll read the rest of the article and we'll kind of discuss my take on everything. Oops.
But I am disappointed in the way we played for the 29 years of players I had before this. That's disappointing. That's not Spartan basketball.
Those turnovers, it seemed like they were doubling, trapping you guys out front, putting a lot of pressure and bumping and pushing all night.
Yeah, they were physical as hell. I mean, I didn't like that. And on the other side of it, I loved it. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. That's why I give him credit. Absolutely loved it. I thought those guys were way more physical than us, and they did that all day long. And we knew they were going to trap. We went over everything they were going to do. I thought we were very well prepared. I'm not going to take any negative to me or my staff on that. My guys didn't play as hard, so that falls on me. Doesn't fall on the players because nothing falls on players anymore. Understand that. So that falls on me, and credit goes to
that's the first kind of note of the basically kind of like going kind of off the rails here, quote unquote, in this exchange here with reporters.
The way they played.
You just said that wasn't Spartan basketball.
No, it wasn't.
How do you define Spartan basketball?
Well, we defend, we rebound. Today we didn't defend at all. I mean, it wasn't the stats, all you analytical guys, I hate analytics because they're phony. Sooner or later, you're looking at a guy's heart, you're looking at a guy's eye, and then you find out about a guy. Everybody in the NBA and college now, they want analytics. Analytics, what does analytics mean here? Huh? Does it mean we won the game? Analytics are crap. You know what? Sooner or later, guys got to just muscle up. We just came out one of our best games we could play, and I had a guy that played his best and doesn't get a rebound tonight. I don't even think he scored a point. I mean, it's ridiculous.
You already explained that.
Bad coaching. I do a bad coaching because remember now, you're not allowed to blame a player. So it's bad coaching. I mean, and I'm not being sarcastic. My guys didn't play. I get the football pads out again for rebounding. As I say all the time, I'll probably get.
All right, so there you have it. Tom Izzo says that you can't blame players anymore, and he calls analytics, quote, phony. That basically kind of summarizes that in that next paragraph here. And we'll just kind of go ahead right down here and kind of read a few different tweets. This is Sam Vecini here. I think he does work for The Athletic. Maybe he doesn't. I don't know. But he does like a lot of NBA draft stuff, so he pays attention to a lot of college basketball stuff. This is his reaction to it. This is a wild ride from Izzo, LMAO. Let me hear me out. You can believe in analytics, but also believe in players playing with toughness. It is possible. We'll keep going. Just a great rant. Izzo crams all the hits in here. The analytics jabs get the headline, but the subtle cheekiness about not being able to blame players, the love for the physicality of the other team. This is good stuff. Or this is the good stuff. I didn't read that correctly. This is from Hammer and Rails. That's a Purdue kind of like a website reporting company, if that makes sense. Yeah, it's basically a Purdue website. Really think that Izzo is losing more than a step in the last few seasons. When you become so cranky and seemingly angry, it might be time to step away. Why put yourself through this at the age of 68? You're a multi-millionaire. Go enjoy life. Don't be so angry all the time. Izzo has kind of been the last few years. He kind of has been. There's been a few times where he's like said things or acted on the court where he's kind of been cranky grandpa, and you can call that criticism of him. You could say that's good coaching and disciplining its players. There's a lot of different ways you can look at it. He assembly call, so that must be an I've never heard of that. That must be an Indiana, outlet. He doesn't sound like a guy who wants to stay in the line of work for much longer. On one hand, I kind of agree with him. Was Isaiah? I don't know who that is. Um, on one hand, I kind of agree with him that the analytics have gotten a bit out of hand, but like the vibes of this are terrible. He sounds like Dabo complaining about the even basic concept of transferring. The game has changed. I'm not here to tell Izzo to retire, but he's losing the plot here. That's basically it. And if you kind of just search Tom Izzo into Twitter right now, there's a lot of people that are basically saying the same sentiment that aren't even on this thread here. So here's kind of my take on it. I don't think Tom Izzo is losing it at all. I think Tom Izzo said that rant and had that rant here as for a few reasons. I think he's one, even though he says like he can't blame the players, I think he's calling out his players when he's doing this rant here in a weird way. He also too, he's not a bad basketball coach anymore. I think he's just frustrated with how the season has gone. They were a preseason top 5 team. They lose the season opener to James Madison, who does seem like they're a better team, by the way. And so far, the Big Ten schedule hasn't gone their way. I think he's just frustrated that some of his players aren't playing, with toughness and playing with the appropriate effort. And there probably are some of them that are, stat watching in a way. Tom Izzo believes in analytics. I do think that first tweet probably sums up how he views analytics. I think he uses analytics as a tool, but I do think sometimes, and this is kind of how I think a lot of old school basketball coaches view this, it's not that they don't, like analytics, view analytics. I think sometimes they're frustrated where sometimes the analytical people come up and be like, hey, play this guy more. And they're like, yeah, I know, I'm going to play him more. Just little things like that. So another stat here, if you think Tom Izzo is losing it, Tom Izzo has been at Michigan State 29 years. He missed the tournament 2 times his first 2 years at Michigan State. Other than that, he has made the tournament every single year for the rest of his time at Michigan State. He's made the tournament every single year. The only year he didn't was the COVID year, and they would have been like a top seed that year. They've been like a top 2 or 3 seed that year if you go back to that team. So I don't think Tom Izzo is losing it here. I still think he's a good basketball coach. This season is disappointing. I think this is just a way for him to call out his players. And, I think he's sending a message to his team here. It's like, hey, guys, don't worry about the analytics. Like, how we win basketball is we win by toughness. And we'll use the analytics when we need to, but we're not going to use that as the only tool and only measuring step. We're not going to let analytics dictate how we do our rotations, how we run our offense, things like that, how we play defense. So there you have it there, guys. Do you think Tom Izzo's losing it? Do you think he needs to retire? I don't think so. I think he's doing fine. I think he's going to be able to turn around this Michigan State season. And hey, man, if they might not be a top seed with how they've started this year, but if they end up sneaking into the tournament, like they made the Sweet 16 last year, if they end up sneaking into the tournament and they're kind of one of those middle road seeds, hey, man, they're talented enough. They were preseason top 5. They're talented enough where they could go on a little bit of a run in the tournament there. So that's going to do it for this episode here today. If you like this content, please hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, please hit that like button. It really helps support the show. Spread the word out there. You can also follow me on Twitter, JD Major 2. I like to tweet about just kind of random sports stuff, and I'll probably post updates on the show and things like that. So thank you again for watching. Appreciate it. Have a good day. I'll talk to you next time.